everybody here in that room, and it's a pleasure to be here among you, our students, and our colleague teachers, either from that university or outside the university. So, welcome. Concerning our topic today, it will be entitled Exploring EFL Learners' Attitudes Towards Promoting Cross-Cultural Communication Through Specifying Sustainable Development Goals. The case of second-year master's students at Guelma University. And that presentation, it is prepared by Dr. Amina and my colleague, Dr. Mounya Abdaoui. Okay, before I start my presentation, I have a question to our students. So I suppose that most of you are Master 2 students here. Okay, that's right. I have a question here, and the question it is for you, it is also addressed to your colleagues who maybe are not present today. So at our university, you have been taught over many years to study the English language, and our aim as teachers is to master that language, and mainly through mastering its basic main skills. And when we speak about the basic main skills, we can refer to the speaking skill. Okay, so you here at the university, you have been taught for a very long period of time about grammatical rules, about vocabulary, about how to talk and to form ideas and thoughts. Is it clear? Do you agree with me? Yes. My question is that if you have been put in a situation whenever you are face to face with the native speaker, either here in Algeria or outside Algeria. We suppose that you have gone abroad and you have been exposed to a foreign language speaker. Do you guarantee to me that all students, Master 2 students, they would be able to speak and to communicate easily and successfully with that speaker or speakers? No. You said no?
No guarantee.
So the majority of you are saying no. And this is the beginning of our presentation today. This is our problem here. The problem that we are trying to tackle in that presentation today. Why there is a lack of cross-cultural communication skill or competency? We shed light on that angle. So we start with the statement of the problem. So most of the university teachers at Guelma University, they observe that EFL learners are struggling to enhance their cross-cultural communication. This is why we said no. This is the problem. What is the reason? Maybe the reason it can be linked to teachers and learners and awareness of the importance of integrating sustainable development goals in education. And these SDGs, they were adopted by the United Nations in 2015, to reach wealth and prosperity. It means a common content concerning these SDGs. Wealth and prosperity, higher education should focus on integrating goal of sustainable development, which is goal 4. It means in our presentation here, the goals in SDGs, they are 17. And we don't take all of them in our presentation. We only are concerned with goal 4. What is the content of goal 4? It sheds light on quality education. How? By taking into consideration 4 main factors: access, equity, relevance, and quality. So what is the aim of the study? One of the aims is to explore EFL learners' attitudes towards promoting cross-cultural communication through specifying sustainable development goals. and as well as to raise EFL learners' awareness about the importance of integrating sustainable development goals. Concerning our research questions, we start with the first one. What is it? Could EFL learners promote cross-cultural communication through specifying sustainable development goals? This is the first question. The second one, do learners have a positive or negative attitude towards the integration of sustainable development goals in education to enhance EFL learners' cross-cultural communication? So what does it mean, cross-cultural communication? As you can deduce, it is a combination between two terms, intercultural and cross-cultural. These two terms, they are used interchangeably. Cross-cultural communication, it can be defined as the direct or mediated interaction between people belonging to different cultures. Cultures possessing different references, beliefs, values, traditions, histories, or languages. This is the situation that I have already explained when I said when you face another speaker from another country. Here, most of this foreign language speaker and you have different cultures. You have different traditions, different values, different beliefs. You see? And the context in which you face each other and you are trying to communicate with each other, we call it cross-cultural communication. Okay? So another definition that can be suggested is that cross-cultural communication, it can be considered as the way communication goes between people across cultures, either face-to-face or online. It means it can be online via the Facebook or via Skype or whatever the tool. So one of the domains of cross-cultural communication is sustainability communication that aims at negotiating and establishing cross-cultural consciousness between people acting globally but belonging to different cultures and traditions. What do we mean by sustainable development goals, which is the key word here in our conference today? Maybe you will notice that in our presentation or in the presentation of all the other speakers, they are referring to that term. So here there is a hint for or a small explanation for that term. So sustainable development goals, it is considered as or its first plan, it can date back to 2000 when the United Nations launched its plan of Millennium Development Goals. That includes 8 goals. Then in 2015, it means we have 2 versions, and this is the last version of that plan, and the one that we are concerned with it today in that conference. It is launched in 2015, and it includes 17 goals, as I have already mentioned. They were 17 goals that were introduced within that plan. Concerning our presentation, we are not going to focus on all the goals, but we just take goal 4. What is the content of goal 4? Goal 4, it ensures inclusive and equitable quality education to overcome the problem of inadequate access to education in many countries in or of the world. So this goal 4, it includes 4 targets. More than 4. Yes. So we have quotations, some quotations here, as you can see. You have some quotations here. It's not really true. So you can take a look at some of these quotations. Then we move to research, methodology, and design. Concerning our presentation of today or our research, it is conducted through the use of the descriptive method or the tool or more specifically, it is through the administration of the semi-structured questionnaire that has been held on October the 9th, 2023. The number of our sample, it is 81 students from Master 2 students from Master 2 level at the University-Guelma. Concerning the questionnaire, it includes 3 main sections, and concerning the number of the questions, it includes 14 closed questions and 2 open ones. Section 1, it deals with general information concerning the respondents. Section 2, it mainly focuses on cross-cultural communication, and Section 3, it highlights the students or Master 2 students' attitudes and perceptions towards the promoting cross-cultural communication through specifying sustainable development goals. Then we have the data, and we have analyzed data in order to reach some results and conclusions. It would be presented by my colleague, Dr. Mounya.
Thank you, Dr. Elaggoune, Amina. First of all, I'd like to thank the audience, both teachers and students. I thank the chair of the session, Dr. Bouchish, and I thank my students for their participation in answering the questionnaire of this research. Let's move now to data analysis and interpretation. Concerning the first important question, it was about enhancing learners' cross-cultural communication skills through technological tools. Learners were asked whether it is better to learn inside the classroom or outside the classroom to enhance their cross-cultural communication skills. We observed through this table that 74.07% of EFL learners or participants indicated that the use of technological tools is better outside the classroom. However, we have 20.98% of the participants who indicated that they prefer the use of technological tools inside the classroom. Concerning EFL learners who supported the use of technological tools outside the classroom, or 74.07%, they justified their answers by proclaiming that 1. Here the comments are summarized by me. The first one, it keeps learners in touch with the target language and the target culture. The second, it provides learners with a wide range of appropriate tools which can enhance their cross-cultural communication through exposure to a rich content, online of course. Extracurricular activities, learning beyond the classroom through activities, expose learners to a rich online virtual environment through communication across cultures. So we have on the other side proponents of learning inside the classroom, small percentage, 20.98%, argued that in the classroom learners interact and collaborate with peers, with teachers, and enhance their problem-solving skills. Let's move to the second table. Table 2, EFL learners' knowledge of sustainable education. As it was indicated in the morning by Dr. Elaggoune, we observed that students and teachers do not know much about sustainable education. They don't know about its existence. It is not included in the syllabi, and this is the problem. So, my aim through this research, although I know that many or the majority of students do not know about it, my aim was to raise your awareness about the existence of sustainable education. This is my aim. And I have the second aim is to see how is your attitudes, as proclaimed by Dr. Amina. Is it positive or negative towards this topic, the integration of sustainable education to promote cross-cultural communication? Look at the table, we have 81.48% of the participants said no, we don't know sustainable education. And only 15 students, 18%, said yes, we are acquainted with sustainable education. And when we asked them about the sources of their knowledge, from where do you know sustainable education, they stated different sources: websites, YouTube, literary works, books, newspapers, articles, the social media. These are the sources expressed by all the students. Now we have asked them in table 3 about knowledge of United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. All the goals, the 17 goals. 90.12% of the students said no, we are not acquainted with SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Only 8 said yes. So we have observed that they don't know it. We have confirmed through this research field study that they don't know it. The aim was just to raise their awareness about the topic and to see the attitudes we will see at the end. The positive influence of specifying SDGs on EFL learners' cross-cultural communication. We have asked them if specification or identification of these goals will have a positive influence over their cross-cultural communication. We observe that more than 1/3 of the population, two-thirds, less than 2/3 of the population, yes, 66, it is 65. 65.43% of the students strongly agreed about the positive influence, of this goal specification on their cross-cultural communication. However, 34.56% of the participants were neutral. They neither agree nor disagree. Perhaps they don't know much about the topic and they hesitate to give a specific answer. No one strongly disagreed, and this is good. It means from the beginning it was they accept to try this topic. The relationship, they like the relationship, as they have said in the comments. Table 5, designing lifelong learning plans as the key towards promoting EFL learners' cross-cultural communication. We have asked them whether teachers should design lifelong learning plans, which is considered as the key towards enhancing their cross-cultural communication, of course. And the answer was good. I like it, it's positive. 85% accepted this and agreed upon this point, which is designing plans by teachers, which is difficult to implement. We will talk about that. Table 6, ways of promoting. Now I'm looking for specific factors or guidelines that enable teachers to implement this in reality, in the real world, in the classroom, I mean. We have asked them to indicate priorities. I have given them 5 factors. They indicate priorities. They rank them from 1 to 5. The first factor, which attracts students' attention with 69.4%, it was ranked first, is providing learners with quality education and reducing gender inequality. They have ranked this first. They have given priority to this factor. Then, in the second rank, with 66.8%, we have providing learners with equal access to internet and technological tools. Why? Because access to internet will lead to access to culture. And one of the main points in the UN guidelines about achieving sustainable education is access to culture. They say in their targets, in the articles, so access to culture will facilitate the achievement of sustainable education. So we focus on the internet. Without internet, in Algeria, we cannot have access to the target culture, you know. In the third rank, we have this factor with 61.6%, looking for additional measures in case of pandemic situations. For example, we facilitate access to internet in distance learning. And we have lived this during the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, and it was difficult to maintain good or high internet connection, you know the problem. In rank 4, we have improving academic institutions infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure is very important. We should have a good internet access and technological materials which should be available for teachers and students in order to implement this problem. Training teach in the last rank. I was disappointed with this. Normally we rank it before because everything is related to teachers. Why? Training teachers and raising their awareness about the importance of sustainable education. If the teacher is not aware, how could we implement this and how could we make students aware? We can have a good infrastructure, we can have a good access to internet, but if the teacher is not trained, we have done nothing. The first thing we should do is training teachers, raising their awareness about sustainable education. Many teachers don't know about sustainable education. Another question, table 7, ways through which teachers can promote cross-cultural competence and direct it towards lifelong learning. How can teachers in reality promote cross-cultural competence and reach lifelong learning? The first factor that attracted students' attention was 4, engaging learners in cross-cultural communicative tasks and activities that assure equality and diversity. This is the first one, 55.55%. Then we have 5, eliminating all the possible barriers to cross-cultural communication. This is according to your views, 45.67%. Then we have 40.74%, having long-term educational goals that highlight sustainable education. This is, it's very important. When we say lifelong learning, we mean on the long term. So we focus, when we design the syllabus, we should focus on long-term educational goals. Then we have 37.03, making learners across cultures work together for common goals. It is global. All students all over the world should share the same aims or goals. We have some students suggested just 5 students. 1, they suggested exchange programs. We already have this in our university, Erasmus, to be exposed to the foreign culture. Second, seeking help from different teachers all over the world through telecollaboration, online collaboration with foreign teachers, by having online access to courses of teachers from different cultures. Good, why not? Should we only be limited with our teachers' lessons? Let's see the other lessons of foreign universities. So we have just 5 students who suggested other factors. I have summarized them. They are the same points. We have only 3. EFL, the last question, EFL learners' attitudes towards specifying SDGs that ensure lifelong education and promote cross-cultural communication. It was good. Their attitudes are positive. 92.59% of the participants have a positive attitude. This is the justification. Students need sustainable education education to understand more. It is important to make lifelong learning since it ensures continuity. I like this word from you. Continuity, yes, lifelong. Sustainable education could develop learners' cross-cultural communication. It's important to have lifelong learning in our syllabus, to exchange ideologies and live in peace and accept others' differences. It's a good idea that can improve the quality of education. I think it is worth trying. I like it, worth trying, yes. Conclusion, although at the beginning of research the majority of students were not acquainted with sustainable education, 81%, and SDGs, 90%, raising their awareness about the topic was highly effective. Nearly all the participants have positive attitudes towards the integration of SDGs in learning to promote lifelong learning and enhance cross-cultural communication. In short, promoting cross-cultural communication through the integration of SDGs is a vibrant field of study that needs an overall plan by incorporating technology and effective assessment. However, the problem is that there is no clear methodology of teaching, to facilitate the implementation of quality education in developing countries. So policymakers and syllabus designers or teachers at the university should look for an overall plan, practical plan that enable us as teachers to implement lifelong learning at the university. The last slide now, pedagogical implications. 1. Sustainable education is the key towards bringing long-lasting changes and improvement in the different educational contexts and curricula. 2. Teachers' attention should be directed towards sustainability in education by looking for practical plans and assessment techniques that encourage quality education, which is goal 4 in SDGs. Yes, lifelong learning. Hence, teachers' training about plans, design, and long-term goals identification is highly advocated. We focus on teachers' training. The last point, technology plays an important role in raising learners' access to the target culture, especially beyond the classroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdaoui and Dr. AGGOUNE for this valuable presentation about cross-culture and sustainable education, and also conduct some research with our university students, master students. Interesting indeed. Then we move to the following presentation, which is by